All right, Liz is up next in Vallejo. Vallejo? Okay, I tried. Let's see what Liz says. I always try to pronounce these cities. It's kind of a fun challenge, folks. She's on the line 3. There she is. Liz, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. You got it right the second time. It's Vallejo.
Vallejo. Okay, very good. All right. Well, that was Madison in my ear. She bailed me out.
Thanks, Madison.
Yes. How can I help today, Liz?
I'm dealing with a lot of self-doubt. I have kind of a 3-part question for you.
Okay, great. I love it. Part one is what?
Okay, I'm contemplating pivoting my career path, and part 1 is, do I put all my eggs in one basket? Part 2 is, am I stupid to stop trying to get better at what I have in front of me? And part 3 is, I think I have found my sweet spot in a job that I want to apply for. Everything's on a hiring freeze right now.
Right.
But I feel like when I interview, I just get so nervous, like I am right now.
Okay.
So nervous.
Okay, so here, let's do this. So when we're nervous, okay, what we have to do is you have to reset our brain, okay? So let's have a little fun with this, all right? This is going to be fun. What are you nervous about? Tell me your nervousness about talking to me live on the air. What are you nervous about? Say it.
Maybe that I'll choke. I don't know.
Okay, great. Well, guess what? So far, you've not choked, and now the hardest part's over. Your first minute's the hardest part, and you laid out your 3-part question beautifully. You made sense. You didn't jarble your words. You don't sound like you're a cat on a hot tin roof. So way to go. No more nerves.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
See what we do? What do? We refocus. What's driving the anxiety? Oh, gosh, I'm going to sound silly or whatever. Ken's going to think I'm, and I'm not going to beat up on you. You know that, don't you? You've listened to enough of the program to know I'm for you. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
All right. Then. Like you are the most important person on the planet right now because that's who I'm talking to. And I was put on this planet to talk to you. So you get how important this conversation is. So get over it. We're good. You're great. All right, now back to question number 3, because you really didn't finish the question. You just talked about how nervous you get in interviews. So what's that third question?
Well, I get a lot of fear, and I just I've been working, as a self-employed person for so long that when I go into a workplace, I just see all these people who are like dressed to perfection and just so good at their jobs. I compare myself to them, and I worry that I'm not good enough. I don't have the accreditation.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. Have you been successful at working for yourself?
Yes.
How many of those people? Well, okay, but the answer is yes, you have been. You've been able to sustain yourself working for yourself. Do you know how many people actually can do that? All those fancy dressed people with all their slick little college degrees, how many of them could actually do what you've done as an entrepreneur? It's way less than you think. So you've got to get over this. You've got to get over this. I don't have what it takes. I don't have it. Because that's a bunch of garbage. That's just you allowing your natural insecurity. By the way, we all have it. But you're just allowing your brain to go focus on the wrong things. And the fact of the matter is you've identified what your sweet spot job is, which is what? Tell me.
Working as a designer.
What kind of design?
Well, I have been a designer and builder of custom furniture and cabinetry for the last 13 years, and now I'm thinking about I'm wanting to pivot into a design role because
interior design or furniture design?
Well, it's interior design, but it's specifically like cabinetry design.
Right. And you've identified a position at a cabinet company locally.
Yes.
Okay, let's have some fun with this. How many years have you been doing that kind of work? Tell us again. You just said it.
It's 13 years.
13 years. Liz, are you qualified?
I think so.
Liz, I do not like that answer, but because I'm a very nice person, I'm going to ask it again, and I want you to give the right answer this time. Liz, are you overqualified?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Come on, Liz. 13 years. All right, Liz. And I want confident Liz, not delusional Liz, not insecure Liz. I want confident Liz to answer the next question. Liz, are you good at what it takes to do this job you've identified?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
there we go. So
Okay.
I'm not even sure I need to address 1 and 2, but we'll touch on them quickly. When you say all your eggs in one basket, do you mean like I'm going after this job, this cabinet job, design job?
There's one specific company that I have in my sights. It's all I care about. It's all I think about as an alternative to being self-employed.
All right, but listen, that's not putting all your eggs in one basket. That's called really laser focused. So be laser focused on that. And if it doesn't work out, we don't quit. We don't go, well, that must not have been for me. I'm going to take my toys and go home. That would be putting all your eggs in one basket. Do you see the difference?
Yeah. Definitely.
But I love the focus on this one gig. Go after with everything you got. Guess what? If you don't get it, it wasn't right. May not have been the right time. But you know what you want to do with your life and why you want to do it. So no, that is not the case. And am I stupid for trying to get better? What did that mean? That's what you asked me.
Well, I'm self-employed. I've been just so stubborn and driven to get better at what I do, but I'm just realizing that, I have some business debt. My business carries a little debt. My personal credit card has some debt, and I started, the baby steps with Dave Ramsey.
Good.
And I'm just realizing that maybe this isn't serving me. I'm really good at, the work itself, working with the clients, but I honestly feel like when it comes to money and scheduling and honestly building furniture, designing it, doing everything, it keeps you so busy that you end up not charging for every minute of your time, and that really gets me into trouble. And I'm not very entrepreneurial.
That's great.
I don't really.
So you're aware. You're self-aware. You're self-aware. So here's the deal. I think the way you're asking it is it just needs to be a little tweak. The reason you want to go do what you're doing for yourself or somebody else is because I'm guessing you've identified you can make more money doing something you love and stay in that sweet spot, not have to worry about running the business and the bills and the paperwork and the invoicing and all the stuff that you're just not naturally gifted at. And that's why you want to do it. And so you can get out of debt and not have all this other pressure. Is that why?
Yeah.
So
expand my skill set, pivoting into a role where I'm learning a little bit more.
I love that. But I would tell you didn't make any mistakes by becoming a master craftsman. I mean, what you're describing to me is what a master craftsman does. In fact, you're one of the few people that I talk to that really understands what that really means. We have lost with the age of technology and about speed and efficiency. The master craftsman's not somebody we run into every day. Am I right, Liz?
Oh, it's true. Definitely.
So it's never a bad thing for you to master your craft, but you are making a decision to expand your skill set and put yourself in a better environment where entrepreneurism is not for you. You figured it out. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. So you're going to go work for somebody else. You're going to make more money, acquire more skills, and be happier. That's a great decision, Liz.
Okay. It's hard not to feel like a quitter, like I failed or...
Well, wait a second. Do you think successful people have ever quit at anything?
No.
No, you're wrong. They did. They quit a lot of things.
Of course.
Of course they quit.
What's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why is it so hard to quit? Why am I so stubborn?
That's a really good question.
I can do it. This year is going to be the year.
Well, I think you nailed it. I think there's a sense of shame that if you quit, that you failed. And I think that has a personal implication. I think you might be a little bit worried about what other people say too. It's got to be one of those things. It doesn't have to be all, but it's one of those things. I think you told us why it's so hard. It feels like I put 13 years into this. I've worked my fingers to the bone, literally. And I'm going to walk away.
Burnout.
You know?
Yeah.
I love this conversation.
And burnt out.
I don't believe that burnout's a thing. I think it's a feeling. I think you've got built up on the heart. I think you're overwhelmed being a one-woman gang, and you're beginning to lose some of the joy of it because some of the yuck, and you need less yuck and more passion. And I think you've identified it. So good for you. I hung out with you a little bit longer because I love your vulnerability. I love how you owned your nerves. And I love that you're digging into why is it so hard, Ken? And the reason it's hard is because you feel like you're a personal failure if you change gears professionally. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. That's what's really going on.
Well, thank you.
You bet. And you are not a failure. You're not going to be a failure. And watch what happens in the days and months and years ahead. Oh, it's so fun. My goodness, I love what I do, Joe. That's what it's about right there. And nobody's doing that I know of. This is your show. I believe that I am, or at least I'm trying to be 3 parts for you folks in one phone call. A coach, a counselor, and a cheerleader. And if you don't have anybody else in your life that'll do that for you, I will. Call me.